You are losing lanes because you pick bad heroes or you play good heroes wrong. Today, we will try to fix that so you can win your lanes and actually climb MMR. The first thing I want to talk about is what makes a strong laner and what is the big misconception about that. Lanes in Dota are really important. If you're playing in an even skill bracket, the chances are that if you win the lane, you will win the game. A snowball effect is very likely to carry you through the game, as you likely have more farm and kills than the enemy, their core is weak and your core is strong. There is no scenario where you would rather lose the lane than win it. So, what makes a hero a strong laner? What you need to understand is that lanes last anywhere from 4 to sometimes even 10 minutes, but reliably speaking, in most games around 6 or 7 minutes they will break down, as heroes rotate and the standard 2 vs 2 lane disappears. That means your hero's laning power has to be showcased in that period, meaning early levels. Considering how most laning works, if you want to be a strong laner, your hero needs to have that power spike early, either at level 1 or 2. Level 3 is pushing it, as by that point it will be around minute 4, meaning half of the laning stage is already over. So the best laning heroes will be strong at level 1 or level 2. A good example of a strong level 1 laner would be Pagna, a hero with a nuke, good base stats, armor, 630 attack range and good movement speed. This is a prime example of a strong laning support. You have the ability to be useful in the lane as you outrange pretty much every hero in Dota. Nether Blast allows you to secure the range creeps, and if you use your hero well, you're able to apply pressure from level 1. A good example of a strong laning hero at level 2 would be Tusk. Even though you're a melee hero, you have amazing base stats, and your 2 spells, if used together, can usually get you a kill when you combo with your lane partner. If you would like to see a tier list of strong laning supports, let me know in the comments. As you can see, being a strong laner isn't strictly connected to whether you're a melee or ranged, although, as I always say, being able to harass without drawing aggro, so being ranged, always gives you one more option than melee heroes. For that reason, I always suggest ranged heroes as better for climbing, as unlike melee supports, they can function without cooperation from the lane partner. If you commit with a hero like Marcy or Tusk, and your lane partner just wants to hit creeps, you can grief your game. As a ranged hero, you can always just right click the enemy core, and that way there is not a single game where you won't have impact. One more thing, you need to realize that different heroes have different things that make them strong laners. In the case of Pagna, it's basically the whole kit, but for Skyrat, you have pretty weak right click and no armor. What makes you strong though is 625 attack range combined with good movement speed and the slow on your W. That means you are meant to kite your enemies, as they can't run up to you. If you keep your distance, you will be a strong laner, but if enemies can jump you or you let them close the gap with your poor movement speed, you can instantly turn into a weak one. And this brings us to the second point. Sometimes you're playing a strong laner but not using what makes you strong, and that leads to you losing lanes. Let's say you play Ogre, which is an example I used in the past. When you get level 2, your power on the lane is great. Level 2 Ignite hurts any hero. That means you're supposed to play for that level 2 timing, staying close to the creeps and trying to deny enemy creeps, as you are quite tanky and don't mind the harassment too much. The last thing you want to do is to trade versus enemy support away from the creeps, as you're wasting a minute of your laning stage's power without even having your spells. Or perhaps you're playing Furion with the healing facet, but you keep forgetting to use Sprout to eat tangos. Or you're playing Clockwork, but instead of using trees properly to hide, you keep showing on the lane or trying to use Cogs on a target with creeps around. Another example would be Silencer. I wouldn't say he's that strong of a laner, but his level 2 power spike is quite okay. You get a lot of damage on enemy heroes, as both of your spells amplify each other. However, if you fail to identify that you're supposed to have mana at level 2, you will probably use some underwhelming harass quite early, and then you will just run out of mana. because you didn't understand that at level 2 your damage increases a lot. To identify how to get best out of your lane, first you need to ask yourself, what makes my hero strong? Is it a lot of armor? If that's the case, you don't mind training that much. Maybe it's getting mana back from creeps as a lich. Okay, then you focus more on playing the lane. Or maybe you're a position 5 patch that sits in the trees and hooks people under the tower. That means you need to get the lane as close to your tower as possible, as this makes your job easier. Every single support in Dota has something that makes them at least a decent laner. You need to identify that and think about how to apply it in your lane. If you have a nuke like a power shot that is quite hard to land and your lane partner doesn't have a stun, perhaps using it around dying creeps is the best outcome. Enemy will try to last hit and that way you can actually land it. And if you know that the enemy is a strong laner and you want to win the lane, perhaps denying whatever makes them strong is good enough. Ogre wants levels, make him chase you. Clog needs to use cogs, I will likely rush boots. To identify strong laners, just look at base stats and what each hero does at level 1 or level 2. Some heroes have abilities that make them strong, and in the case of others, it's their stats. Try to base your game around what makes you strong and exploit what makes your enemy weak. If you start thinking about that, it will make the game so much easier for you. Just knowing your hero will help your game a lot, as that means you only have to consider how to deal with the enemy. And always remember,
you can do a million things and everything can work.
Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment, as that helps me a lot. See you!